My five. Yes, I do. But I think I think to the question of what he's saying about why men don't line dance. Well, not all men, I would say, because
Right.
there's some clearly
Right.
there's some men who line dance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think for majority, like for me, it was difficult at first for me to kind of it was a struggle, not necessarily a struggle for me, but just looking at it through the lens of, okay, what is this? What
Mm-hmm.
exactly is this
Mm-hmm.
as far as that's happening? And then some of it too had to be with a comfort level too of not knowing. Sometimes I think the difference men and women can be a little bit different when it comes to not caring about how others see you.
Right.
For example, men sometimes can be, I would just say, very prideful as far as if they can't get it right. Men
Mm-hmm.
sometimes have a tendency not to try it.
Right.
And if we look a certain way, we're more worried about what people are looking at and seeing versus sometimes women, they don't really care. They're just having fun. That's just
Mm-hmm.
what it's about. So I think that's a main barrier for it as far as why men outside of not fully understanding it. I
Mm-hmm.
think if as we get older, as far as things and connect with the potential health benefit attached to it, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of low impact.
Right.
I think if more of that can kind of happen, I think more might consider it
Mm-hmm.
because it has. I think it can be have health benefits for those that struggle with needing exercise but needing to be kind of low impact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good. What about you, Robert? What's your I mean Anthony, sorry. Anthony, what's your perspective on what like the answer Robert just gave or your perspective on the same question?
You muted.
Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, it's a little bit different. I look at it as a ladies' venue because of Queen Sheila and what the line dance connection kind of represent. Sure, I'll get my dance in maybe once in a while and that kind of thing. I'm curious to how a lot of the dances are, like the super bad and some of those other high tech dances that people do. But it is just a way of, it's basically, I look at it as almost like a girls club. It's a sorority where the girls and the ladies get together and they bond in a way, you
Okay.
know. So I mean, I don't want to intrude in that. And that is one of the things that I'm a little hesitant sometimes. But my favorite song come on, I really feel I may need to get up. But for the most part, I want to just step back and just observe and just look and just hope everybody's having fun because it seems as if everybody get together, especially when they start clapping those fans and everything. That is definitely something that the ladies like to do, and I enjoy watching that. So that's, I step back from those kind of things, but
That's
that's
probably my
mainly why.
Now I have another question. So, like, when you go out and you see, like, you go to these functions and you see the different men that are out there, you see Marquise, he start moving, he barely moving his feet, he all like, and he just gliding across the floor. How do you feel then?
Well, that is great, but he's an instructor, right? And he should be doing that kind of stuff, and I commend him for that. But not everyone wants to do that. I mean, I like to have more. If I dance, I don't mind line dancing. Don't get me wrong. It's a more intimate when you have you and your partner dance, and a lot of times. And Robert brought up a good point. If everybody out there moving one way and you going the other way, you got their own kind of attention. You don't
No,
want
because
that.
like you're going the right way, everybody's going wrong.
But
Well,
honestly, I believe that you are the one who focus on you going the wrong way more so than the other people because you have more people on, well, there are other people on the dance floor who's feeling the same thing because it's like, oh, they're trying to learn the dance. But I think when I was saying, like, making reference to Marquise, that was just saying like him being a man dancing, doing line dancing. And not only that, but as you said, he is also an instructor. But would that not be more of an encouragement to say, hey, maybe it's not all a female's, social club type thing. Maybe men really can get out there and dance as well.
Well, I've really never thought line dancing was strictly for the females, but because I used to line dance, the electric slide, and all those little cool dances we did back in the early '80s and '90s. But it's a different thing now. Now you got practice, you got training, you have people actually having classes, and it's technical to a sense that you put in some time and you really look good when you do it. I don't mind making mistakes. It's just that if everybody's out there doing the super bad and then I'm out there doing the really bad, that's not.
I'm gonna say this, Anthony. First of all, I think when I got into it, I always had the love and a passion of dancing and the dance amongst a lot of people with like a group setting type, because I always wanted to be a part of a fraternity just for dancing, nothing else. But anyways, I don't know if that's a down south thing, because people up north, Philly, all that, the brothers are out on the floor, ridiculous. What? Right? And they spinning, and I'm talking about they the old heads that's out there getting it. And they were actually, it was an old head in Daytona Queen. You remember the guy who had passed? He was an inspiration to me personally. You know what I mean? And just seeing the brothers out there, and some of their motivations be different. Some just be because they're trying to get it with the ladies, because they know the ladies want to see the brothers dancing. And some use it for a form of exercising and release and all that other stuff. But the men out there is unbelievable. You know what I mean? And they're not instructors. You got dudes that's 72 years old that's getting it.
Yes.
Not instructors at all. They just love the idea of being able to let go and just do their thing. You know what I'm saying?
I do, and I admire those guys. I do.
Yeah. So like Katrina said, it's something about the South that I don't for some reason I feel like there's this stigma of something that makes men look weak or sensitive or vulnerable, you know what I mean? And not saying that's what you're saying.
Right.
It's just the impression that is giving that's continued to be conveyed amongst a lot of young men.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just not what men do. And the communication they're coming from not other young men. It's coming from the older men.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so we try to do that.
Right. And you bring up a good point, because excluding line dancing, and line dancing is dancing. You can just put that simple. It's dancing, having fun, fellowship, and music is the key. But a lot, like you bring up a good point. Gatherings, when we socialize with our friends, it's the old people like us. I say old people like us because we're older, but we're the ones doing the dancing, and they're the ones on the smartphones. We're the ones they like to hang around because we're dancing and having fun, and they're on the smartphones. And I'm not saying that all of them are like that, but for the most part, we still bring a lot of that. I am from the North, and we did do me and three of my friends. We used to go out, back in the young teenage days and do steps and those kind of things at parties, and that stuff is all fun. And I'm not trying to say that as stigmatized for men at all. I am just saying that for the line dance connection, I'm stepping back because I see a lot of ladies having fun, and I really don't want to infringe on that. However, I will get my dance on here every now and then, depending on how I feel. But it is, you brought up a good point. it shouldn't be a stigma attached to it. I don't feel that way. But when I see people just sitting down, I'm itching to get up, I'm itching to get up. And then finally, no matter how much pain I am, I get up. But, I suffer later. But, I have to get up. There's, people sit around and stand around and that's their choice. But, the line dance connection has kind of opened my eyes to a lot of different genres of music, especially doing those, you never thought it could be so cool, line dancing to some country songs. So, I mean, it really is something that it's a growing process. And I think the more you're exposed to it, I think the more acclimated you'll feel about being there and feeling comfortable about doing it.
I'm gonna give you two things real quick. One thing, I'm gonna tell you this, brother, me being a younger guy, if I saw you out there dancing for the first time and I don't dance, I promise you this, it would definitely shape my world as a young man.
Yeah.
And it's because us young men don't see enough of that from older men. It would definitely inspire. So I say that to tell you that when you do just your little 2 steps or whatever you do, you trust and believe you are affecting so many people, just you alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want to if that kind of help with the encouragement, trust and believe. I don't even care if you're doing it wrong. I promise you're still going to have some type of effect on people like myself. And the second thing I want to mention, and I thank the UC Star Wars for this too, and I think Queen even did this as well. They created a space for the men to actually find a place within this community, which is they do like the man cave and stuff like that. And I think for me, when I went to the UC over in Baltimore, it really changed my perspective of why I was doing this. You know what I mean? I saw a bigger picture and understood the culture behind it. You know what I mean? Because right now you guys see a lot of the locals and everything else. But once you start traveling and seeing the world and seeing how many people are so committed, and I'm talking about the men, how committed, you know what I mean? It's an amazing thing. You be like, dang, this is a real deal. This ain't just regular class dances. You know what I mean? They serious about this.
You have like 1,000 people, but it's 200 of them are men or more, right, Marquise? At the UC Star Wars?
One thing you'll notice about the men, like they're not with the extra drama stuff. They pretty much on the side observing and everything else. But they do come in on the scene and they come in and they don't play. They'll get on that floor and do some spins and splits. And I'm like, and they older than me now. These are older men. These ain't young men out here getting it. And it's amazing to watch and to observe anything else. So I just wanted to at least leave you with that, brother. Like, just know that just the little that you do on the floor is an inspiration to all men. You know what I'm saying? So we do appreciate that.
And I'm saying, what if the husbands say came out and supported their wife for one class a month? One class a month. That's all it would take. Just give me one class a month. I promise you, you'll be back for 2. And then 3. And then, it's a confidence thing. Seriously, because so many people, I teach beginners, 90% beginners. So many people have come to my class and they had both of their feet were really going that way. I say left, they was going right. I say right, they was going left. And I took the time, I took the patience. I have the patience to say, okay, let's do this again. Now, if I got to put on a red sock on the right foot and a yellow sock on the left foot and say, you follow the red sock and follow the yellow, that's what I do. Because my thing is, if you come to my class and you leave and you know nothing, then you've wasted your time. And I'm not effective as an instructor because I want you to come to my class and want to come back. You get me?
You know, but you know what it
I
is,
learned
Queen?
it's gonna learn no more than shake a tail feather.
But Queen,
You know?
one thing you gotta, as the gentleman said before Anthony got on, it's a pride and ego thing for some men, not all men, but for some men. And so to learn from a female is all, it's already, we don't want to dance and look like a fool in front of a female, but now for to learn from a female too, sometimes that's a hindrance in itself as well. To be and that's a pride thing for some men at the same time. So that's why
you break it
a
up
lot
a
of
little
women,
bit.
that's why a lot of women probably wouldn't get many men in their classes because of that. One of those reasons, I'll say, if anything, amongst a lot of other women.
I think that could be a reason. I also believe that The other reason is they don't see men in the class because I have wives asking me, hey, can I bring my husband? Can my husband come?
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure. But the husband is like, will I be the only man there? So he's like, no, I'm not coming here with all you women. But this past Thursday, I actually had a husband who popped into the class and surprised his wife. They had a ball in the classroom. And so he, as a matter of fact, he said, I'm coming back. And it was good. But if he never just, I guess stepped out of that little comfort zone he was in to say, hey, I'm gonna stretch myself and try this and surprise my wife, he wouldn't have had that experience to say, as he was walking out the door, he was like, I finally learned how to do Tamia. This was his first class. And that was one of the songs. In 10 minutes left for the class, he was like, I want to learn Tamia. And he actually learned the dance. But so I believe it could be a bit of both. It could be the female instructor, but I really believe also if there were other men there, it would be more encouraging for them to come.
That's right.
Personally.
What's up, Joe?
A lot of that, you're all absolutely right. Yes. I'll say this. It's a combination of things that's going on. One of them, going back to what the original question from Marquise, it is geographical. No doubt about it. I've traveled with Sheila all across this country, going to different line dance events. And, out west, Minnesota, Vegas, California, you have a lot of guys out there that do line dance and they heavy into the 8 count and the stepping. And when you go out the Midwest, Chicago is definitely heavy rooted. Up north, the same thing. And the difference up north, and it's kind of slowly migrating. What's happening is people want to learn these line dances because the pandemic forced them to check it out and learn what line dancing was about, on YouTube and everything like that. So when things eased up and they started going back into the clubs, they wanted to do line dancing. Here's the problem. They didn't have anybody to teach them the line dances, and then the DJs didn't have the music.
Right.
So what y'all getting caught up in is a growing pains.
Okay.
For the most part, and when you get to the other side and y'all getting there really, really fast, you're going to see that line dancing is really going to be, taking over a lot. It's going to be done, everybody wants to participate and learn it. And here it's going to take off. One thing I can say that, because me being on the outside looking in, you all as line dance instructors and your different teams and stuff like that, people are watching. People are watching. You may not see the numbers in your class and things like that, but don't think that people are not paying attention and watching to what's going on and what y'all do, because they are. Y'all got healthcare companies, Advent, Humana, they looking because they understand the health benefits to line dancing and how y'all can come together and be partners. And some of y'all have, in the past year or so. So if you just take that segment alone, it will definitely show you the path, and you can see that y'all laying a blueprint for the future.
That's good.
Y'all really are laying a blueprint for the future, and it's gonna come together, really, really tight. You know, people want to do, you know, these dances that they seeing y'all put up on YouTube. They want to learn them. They want to learn them. Sheila gets calls. I'm sure Marquise gets calls. You know, people wanting to learn this, that, and the other, you know, and that should tell you right there where y'all going. Y'all going the right path, you know, and I'm sure Zandra is feeling the same vibe, you know, down there now in Montgomery. Things is happening. Things is happening. So, you know,
what would it take for the husbands to, if I had a week or a day that I invited all the husbands to come, you get in class free. I just want y'all to come so y'all can learn to shake a tail feather. And I'm gonna invite Marcus.
Let Marquise lead it.
Yeah, let Marcus lead it. But can I just tell y'all one thing? One of my visions is to see all the husbands come together and do a line dance. If you don't do but one line dance, all the husbands come together, learn. Marquise could teach it. If y'all don't want to learn from a woman, I ain't mad. Marquise could teach it. All the husbands come together and learn one line dance. I'm telling you, do that line dance at the party, y'all will never be broke. I guarantee you. Marquise, how many all men's line dance groups do you see? None. I'm telling you a vision for the future. Just like Joseph said, if all you husbands came to class one time and learned a dance, and then when we had one of our parties, y'all went and all the men got on the floor and did a dance together.
Well,
baby, you'll never be broke.
They do have gold. It's a
up north.
Yeah, called Gentlemen's of Line Dance.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen it.
And when they performed on the floor, you thought they was throwing money out there, man. The way they were getting it in, you know what I'm saying? That was unbelievable.
Right. And you could just be smooth with it. You don't have to be the wild one or nothing like that. You could do something really smooth, something with a low impact beat. And I'm telling you, it would.
I put it like this: you don't have, when it comes to dancing, you don't have to be extra with the steps. If you just give attitude alone, you good. And we all can do that.
Marquise, you give attitude.
Yeah, you get the right song going, you're gonna get a lot of attitude. You're gonna get a lot of
Diamond Green said it. She said it's all in the facial expression, you know, as well as the dance. So if you up there looking like you're trying to remember the dance, people can see it. But if you just smiling, you know, you mess up, you smile, and they be like, oh, she having a ball. Even though she messed up, she having a good time, or he having a good time.
Right.
So it's all in.
You know, it's fascinating.
And all y'all military. Come on now. All y'all leaders.
But let me ask you this,
all
Joe.
These husbands on here leaders.
Let me ask you this, Joe. All right, so you don't have, like, in certain areas, you don't have as many men line dancers, but you do have a lot of men steppers and 8 counts. What you think is the difference in the two, though? And then some of the men dance with other men's now, and they ain't on the funny stuff either.
Right. What I think is the difference between line dancing and the stepping.
Yeah, why men more comfortable to dance the stepping than they are the line dancing?
I can answer that.
Well, in my opinion,
partner, because they got a woman to lean on. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, in my opinion, I think that stepping has been more accepted than line dance. Line dance was kind of a, you know, the electric slide came and then electric slide went.
Right.
And then it became geographical with some of these artists putting out these line dances, and it took a long time for it to migrate south.
Right.
Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Where, you know, they were doing line dance and stepping in other areas of the country, you know, for a period of time, whereas down here it was not so, you know, it didn't take off like that.
So what about country line dances? Because them brothers don't play, and they down here, they down there, they're over with. What's the
but you know what? And I think what. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go on, Joe.
No. Go ahead with your thought. Go ahead.
No, but I think Joe hit the nail on the head, because as he was saying, and what you were saying, Marquise, with the country, in that arena, yes, you see the men there. They're present, they're very active, and they turn out from South all over. But
and here's the number one rule about any of this. Mm-hmm. Wherever the ladies at, the men is gonna follow. I don't care what it is. You could be selling dookie on a stick. I'm telling men, because our minds are wired messed up.
Okay.
And it's like that. We want to be wherever the ladies are. Right. Now, that being said, when it comes to line dancing, what happens is the ladies come, they do their dancing and everything like that. And the guys down here, we got a lot of steppers down here. Okay. Problem is, them steppers down here don't want to be involved with a line dance thing.
I agree.
Oh, so it's a lot of, to me, it's a lot of petty envious, a lot of simple shit. Yeah, let me be honest with you. And I have a hard time digesting that.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what? When I realized that, let me chime in right here. I want to say hi, hit the floor line dancers. How y'all doing for tuning in? But I want to say that we went to Marquise, I believe it was your event a couple of years ago, and you had line dancers and steppers like we used to have.
Right.
And I heard the ladies. I had heard several ladies when what's the name of the two that was teaching stepping? I can't think of their names. That came to your event. It was teaching. What that teach us here? I can't think of it. Anyway, they came to Marquise event and we were all there, and they were teaching stepping, and the ladies were in the back. It's like, why are they teaching us stepping? It's like 90 women in here and 10 men. We don't want to learn that. Right, and so that's what that's what they said. We don't want to learn that. We want to keep line dancing, and I heard that. Just like the steppers don't want the line dancers there, the line dancers are not particular about having the steppers there, because it's like the steppers want the whole dance floor, the line dancers want the whole dance floor. It's not but one dance floor, so they either gonna split it and everybody dance, and then the steppers don't know how to line dance, so
yeah,
they feel intimidated or something when we get on the floor. We dance to everything, and the steppers only dance to slow, or rhythmic music that go with the 8 count. So therefore, I just took stepping out of my event, and not because I'm trying to be mean or nothing, but that's what my clientele wants. My clientele want to line dance, and that's it.
Yeah, that's your biggest obstacle. You're trying to find the right recipe that's gonna work to bring those two genres together. You're hard pressed, but one thing I'll say is that I'm glad that you all have not given up, that y'all continue to press forward, to bring this forward, because with anything, the only way to keep it going is to have new blood. As you continue to bring in new blood, it brings in new ideas, and things start to begin to change. And like I said, I sit back and I look at a lot of things and I observe, and I can see change. I see it, starting to come. When Sheila did the symposium up there in Orlando, and Jay came, and and they were doing, he was, teaching the 8 count, and and everything like that. That was a beautiful start to something. It just needs to be watered a little bit, and kept going. Maybe invite the steppers to your event. Tell them, say, look, it's not an all steppers event, but we're gonna do some line dancing and we're gonna do some stepping. And
that's kind of like how she did it this year.
At the end of the day, all y'all dancers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's got to be a way for y'all to bridge that gap and come together, because y'all will do much better together, because the way I see it, y'all ain't doing so good apart.
When Jay Most did it, when we went to Jay Most in Minnesota, he had everybody together. And then after the competitions or whatever, the line dancers went to one room and the steppers went in another room, and it worked.
Yeah, but see, you have to understand that event, the J Most and their All-Star Bash out there in Minnesota, that's a seasoned event. And that whole Midwest area, Minnesota, Kansas, Iowa, Chicago, listen, that's a whole dancing region. You feel me?
Yeah.
Region. And they have gotten together and somehow decided that we're going to all work together and we're going to support one another. That's what need to happen here. There need to be more love.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? Now I think at the end of it, Queen, as you said, I think Queen was trying to get at least a day with all of you husbands that's on the show, and even those that may be watching, just to come out. I don't know what day Queen gonna do it next January, but she's looking for you all to just come out one time. Did you tell her how they gonna come, Queen? Free? $1?
Yeah, they gonna come free. I let them come free. I pay for them.
She gonna pay for y'all to come in January, and she just wants y'all to commit to her first class in January.
Mm-hmm.
Just give it a try one time. Anthony, Robert, what you say?
Well, I don't have an issue paying. I'll say that as far as paying with it, I'm a huge proponent of paying folks for their expertise. You know, I don't have an issue. You know, I work. I'm an independent contractor, so a lot of times when there's practice, I'm working. But if I'm not working, I can commit to come with Maria or come out. So I don't have an issue as far as committing. As far as to come out, I'll commit. If I don't have clients on a practice, or not a practice, but when they normally have rehearsal or practice, I'll be there.
Okay.
And I'll pay the rate. I'm a huge proponent of paying folks for the talent.
Okay. So. What you say, Mr. Anthony?
Well, I'm also still working mainly through the week. I know I look forward to my Saturdays as rest and recuperation I still at work may or may not be in town because of work. So I couldn't make 100% commitment, but it's something that I think that it could easily be done as long as I got a commitment from the other guys. Okay. I don't want to be the only one showing up and be the only guy getting, and then I gotta be the only one dancing. And I'm like, that's not gonna
you receive so much love, and you'll be like, I'm going back. But
yeah,
it'll work out. Queen. Yeah, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
One more you ain't asked. One more.
What were you saying, Anthony?
No, I was just saying that's me. I don't mind. I really don't mind doing it. It's just that I don't want to make a commitment and then something happens and I'm not there. And
I give y'all
I do a lot of traveling. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, it has been a pleasure, and we are way over into our hour.
Sandra.
Who? Joe?
You didn't ask the last husband.
I'm sorry. King Joe.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm trying to work through physical therapy and get my knees and my legs together. And whether I'm walking or not, if these brothers want to show up, I'll show up and be there, even if I can't, necessarily dance at that time. But I support any way that I possibly can.
That, you know what? Now that's a brother's keeper.
One more brother on here, Marquis.
Oh, Marquis, he
laid down, gone to sleep.
Yeah, I'm down.
Rocky said we got that together and it was a day you could come. Would you come out with the brothers?
Yeah, I'm down for it. You know,
okay.
I'm always trying to, I always kind of hope to see us men be together all at one doing the together at the same time. You know what I mean? It's lonely out there, guys.
I love it. I love it. It has been a pleasure, as Queen would tell us, or you. It has been a pleasure having each one of you on today. Thank you, Queen. We don't have the hand claps.
Oh,
yes, we do.
Yeah,
joking about the hand clap. They messing me about the hand clap. Melvin gave us some. Thank you, Melvin.
Yes, it has been a pleasure having each of you on. Thank you for sharing from your perspective and your experiences with your wives. Just thank you for everything. Even our guests that are watching, the viewers, thank you so much. I saw Miss Daniels. Shout out to Miss Katrina Daniels for her input and hit the floor line dancers. Always my girl Melva is in place, y'all. We won't even do no trivia tonight.
Okay,
Or
Maria.
You say Queen.
And Maria.
And Maria. Yes. Thank you, Maria. Thank you. And we did, we want to apologize because for some reason live kept going out. So if you see the video in pieces, that's what happened. But you know what? You caught the last 36 minutes. And I want to say thank you again. So over to our host, Miss Queen Sheila.
Thank you. Everybody give yourselves a hand clap for me. Wait, I'm going to help y'all. Yes, thank you. I really, really, really appreciate it. I hope that this has helped someone. I hope that something we said will resonate in your spirit, and know that because you're a man doesn't mean you can't line dance. I'm telling you, when all God's children get together, what a time. And we get out there, or the men get out there and show off and show out for one dance, one showcase, just show out. I tell you, it's going to be a growing thing, because from you husbands coming out whenever you can. If we only did it once a month, then we could get other husbands to come out, other men to come out, and this thing can really grow to be something big. So in closing, I had up on the screen, don't forget to add Let's Talk Soul Line Dance to your bio, because you can tell everybody you were on Let's Talk Soul Line Dance, which is a great thing, okay? Also on my list, I have, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. You can subscribe to our page so we can keep this podcast going. And donations, we accept donations if you like at Cash App is on the screen, the LDC, $ LDC, or PayPal is paypal.me/Queen Sheila. And I think that's everything. We didn't do our little trivia break tonight, but in closing, I just asked, are there any shout outs? Husbands, you want to do a shout out? Let's start with Robert. Robert, you want to do any shout outs in our closing? Can't hear you. You got it on mute. You're on mute, Robert.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm doing the Tony thing. Yeah, shout out to my wife Maria, who's in her last few hours of her COVID quarantine. She'll be active tomorrow.
All right, Maria. Okay, thank you. All right, let's go to Anthony. You want to have any shout outs?
Yes, to my wonderful wife, Melva, who didn't get a chance to answer any of the trivia questions.
Melva wins the money every week,
Yeah, I know.
And then we have Joe. You got any shout outs?
Oh, definitely. I'm going to give a shout out to my wife, Sheila, and all the members of the Line Dance Connections, and all the husbands on tonight, and those that couldn't be on. Me personally, the Line Dance Connection has a special place in my heart. They have done so much for me over the past, couple of years. So yeah, my shout out is to Queen Sheila, the husbands, and the LDC.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Miss Sandra, your shout outs.
Well, as always, a shout out to our viewers. And you know what, viewers? You can at least put us in there and tell us where you are viewing from. Just start jotting down and saying, hey, I'm viewing from wherever you are. So a shout out to them because I just saw LaTanya come on and welcome to the podcast. So thank you.
I'm gonna have to sign off, Sheila.
Okay.
I gotta take the dog out.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Sandra.
No, I was done.
Take care, Joe.
And,
all right, y'all take care.
All right, sweetie.
Thank you.
Marquise.
And then
thank
also,
you, Sandra. Marquise.
Yeah, shout out to the viewers, those who support. Shout out to Queen for the platform. Sandra coming through with my questions. But yeah, and also shout out to the men. We do appreciate y'all being on here, but what we appreciate most is your honesty. You know what I mean? Yes. And the vulnerability, just letting us know your perception and how you see things and everything else, and even just your feedback and take on it too, because it definitely help us get a better insight on how we can kind of help work together, if anything else. So we do appreciate all that.
All right, here's yours, Marquise. Yay!
Thank you.
Did you love it? Yeah. So thank you, everyone that tuned in. Really.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone that tuned in. Yes.
We got Toledo, Ohio in the house.
Oh, hello, Toledo. Thanks for Glass City Hustlers. Thanks for tuning in. We want to thank all of our viewers. We want to thank our guests, each and every one. I want to thank my co-hosts. Without them, this wouldn't all come together. And gentlemen, we really want to thank you. This is the first time we've had the men on, and it's really been a great podcast. It's really been a good session. You giving us your input, and that's something for us wives to think about. You know, what can we do to keep this connection going? And we appreciate y'all supporting us, you know, in our line dancing and in our life, period. We appreciate you. And Marquise, we appreciate you. We know your wife appreciates you, and Zandra, your husband appreciate you. And my husband just told me he appreciate me. So I feel special. But I love y'all. Have a good night. Thanks so much for tuning in. We love you, and we'll see you next Sunday at 7:00. Okay.
That's right. Tune in for my girl Rhonda Coleman from Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia. We'll be back next week. Woo! This is for Rhonda, and this is for all of you tonight. All right. So in closing, love is no good unless you give it away. So here's some of ours. Love you. Okay, Marquise, back down. I'm just waiting. Go ahead. Thank you. Have a great night. Hopefully we'll see you on the podcast. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Laureling.
Bye.
Right.
Okay, everybody. Stream. Bye-bye.